Let's know what mission we're playing today.
Alright, today we're going to be playing Shadow Strike. We haven't rolled for deployment yet, but the goal of the game is you get 2 victory points for getting into your opponent's deployment zone, and you get 1 victory point for having a denial unit in your opponent's deployment zone. Secondary objectives are Slay the Warlord and Attrition. What is the mission? Or what is the deployment? Deployment is 2. Dawn of War.
Dawn of War, awesome.
Standard Dawn of War deployment.
Alright, and you want to take us through 3,100 points of Iron Hands real quick?
Yep. So over here I have 2 10-man tactical squads of Legion Tactical Marines. They'll be riding up in Rhinos with sponsored heavy bolters. And I have a Melta squad, support squad. They'll be in they'll be also in a Rhino. I have a Damocles Rhino. I have a Predator tank with, as modeled, he has a Predator cannon and 2 sponsored heavy bolters. I have a Land Raider that'll be running up the field with 10 Medusan Immortals. I have another Land Raider with the Bodyguard and the Warlord. And I have a Spartan full of Gorgon Terminators. And that is 3,100 points of Iron Hands.
A brutal loyalist force today to be faced by 3,100 points of the 14th Legion. Alright, so we've got 3,100 points of Death Guard over here, and I've got 101 bodies in this army. It's Contemptor, 2 Land Raiders, each full of 5 Terminators, 1 with 5 Death Shroud, 1 with 5 Grave Wardens. The army is led by Typhus. And there are 80 troops in this army. I have 2 10-man heavy bolter, heavy support squads that count as scoring, non-compulsory troops. And I've got 60 TAC Marines, as well as 10 Assault Marines with jump packs. And that is 3,100 points of Death Guard.
Yeah, Vindicator. Alright, so 2 15-man tactical squads with Phoenix Spear, Melt the Bombs, and Artificer Armor, each with their own attached apothecary unit. This one is the Legion Champion with Plasma Pistol and Phoenix Spear. Over here is the Chaplain with Power Sword and Bolt Pistol with Refractor Field and Artificer Armor, the works. Got a 5-man Recon squad with Cameline, replacing their Power Armor with Recon Armor, Sniper Rifles, and Nuncio Vox. Nuncio Vox is the guy that has the camo cloak rolled up. I don't have a model for it yet. 5-man.
I thought you said everything was WYSIWYG.
There is no Nuncio Vox, which is what there is, but not for scouts. 5-man Melta Squad in Rhino with Dozer Blade. 10-man Plasma Squad in Rhino with Dozer Blade. 5 with Praetor with a 4-man Legion Terminator Command Squad with the Banner. 3 Power Fists and a Chain Fist. Praetor has a Paragon Blade, Master Crafted Weapon, Digital Lasers, the works, Sonic Freakers, and all my characters. 2 10-man tactical squads in Rhinos with Dozer Blade, Artificer, and Melta Bombs. 3 Land Speeders with Graviton Guns with the Meltas. A Primaris Lightning with 3 Kraken Pens, the +1 for ground shooting, and the Tank Hunter, and the Whirlwind Scorpius on the right. Vindicator with Reinforced Ram and Machine Spirit, and a Contemptor with Heavy Flame Ring, Carries Pattern on him. Carries Pattern or something, and extra armor.
And that finishes off how many points of Emperor's Children?
3,500 points on the nose.
Alright, and matching those 3,500 points of Emperor's Children, we're going to have 3,500 points of Ultramarines. Rob, let us know what you got.
So, we'll start off with my Praetor, Trellius Crassius. I named him. He has a Mastercrafted Paragon Blade, lasers with a Plasma Pistol, Jump Pack, Mantles of Ultramar, giving him a 2-up armor save and a 5-up field of pain with immune to blind. Going with a squad of Locutaris, led by a Strike Leader with a Power Sword and a Combat Shield, with 6 Locutaris with him, all armed with Bolt Pistol, Power Swords. These guys are real dirty, they're 2-up armor save for all of them. Right behind them, I have a squadron of Basilisks, and they're armed with the hull-mounted heavy bolters with the Earthshaker cannons. If we go over here, we have 3 10-man squads of Tactical Marines. Unfortunately, the 2 sergeants aren't WYSIWYG, but they do have power weapons, all 3 of them do, with Artificer Armor, All three have melta bombs and nuncio boxes. Behind them are 3 rhinos with dozer blades and just the combi bolter. Over here we have 2 predators making up a predator strike force, both armed with predator assault cannons with las cannon sponsons. Over here we have a 10-man squad of recon, all armor swapped out for recon armor with sniper rifles and a nuncio box, and they also have cameline cloaks. Behind them, I have 2 Vindicators, both armed with Dozer Blade and Machine Spirit. And over here we have 9 Invictaris with a Primaris Metacase sitting in the middle of them, going in a Land Raider with Dozer Blade, Machine Spirit, or well, it automatically has Machine Spirit, but Dozer Blade and Armored Ceramite. And last but not least, we have a Contemptor Pattern Dreadnought with a Curies Assault Cannon, and the Dreadnought Close Combat weapon with the inbuilt bolter with extra armor, and the Primaris Lightning Strike Fighter in the back armed with 6 Kraken Penetrator missiles and a twin-link las cannon with ground tracking auguries and a battle control circle. That makes up 3,500 of Ultramarines.
All right, thanks, Rob. So for a real quick setup of the deployment, again, it's Dawn of War deployment. Total on each side of the board is, doing math on camera, yeah, 6,600 points of 30K on each side of the board. You got your Emperor's Children and your Death Guard over here. So that's like 170 some odd bodies, not including tanks, all deployed, nothing in reserve. On the flip side, you have Ultramarines deploying with nothing but a Contemptor for the Iron Hands. They're all going to come in, try to do some shenanigans with some reserves, due to the fact that the scoring in this mission is primarily based off getting units, scoring units, and denial units into your opponent's deployment zone by the end of 5 turns, and on a 4 or better continue to 6 turns. So with that, Sean, would you like to seize the initiative?
Oh, that's the opposite.
And it'll be Death Guard, Emperor's Children.
The one he shot at.
After an absolutely withering round of first turn fire from the Ultramarines and Iron Hands side, there will not be a charge. However, to recap, game turn 1, we have Bo to present for us the casualties and wounds inflicted on the Death Guard Emperor's Children side.
We lost a Vindicator, and we lost 3 tactical Marines, and we suffered some hull points here and there. However, we're still in the fight.
All right, and the wounds we inflicted, what did we get done, Rob?
Let's see. You took a wound off of 2 rhinos, and you took a wound off of the Contemptor. And a weapon destroyed. Oh, and a weapon destroyed on the Contemptor.
And looks like we took out some of us.
Oh, and you took out squad. My recon squad, and let me roll for that right now on camera. This is leadership. I'm good.
Oh, all right. So everybody seems to be tentatively checking out the, testing the defenses. Nobody's running, and these 2 armies are what they are running is straight towards each other. So let's head on to game turn 2. At the end of game turn 2, we have a slaughterfest. Most importantly of note, we have a lot of Iron Hands coming on this table this turn. So, Sean, would you like to point out which Iron Hands came on and where they came on?
Alright, so I have a Predator over here, came in on this board edge, as well as a Tactical Squad. They deployed, took down 2 of the Land Speeders. Over here, my Medusan Immortals are in a Land Raider, and they are side by side with another Tactical Squad in a line. Neither one of them have deployed. They actually tank shot the Emperor's Children away from them. And then over here, some casualties that occurred on the Ultramarines. The Contemptor went down, and the Land Raider went down to the mass fire from the Emperor's Children. Some of the Invictaris went down due to heavy bolters from the Death Guard, and then the Invictaris in return charged the Melta Squad and did damage to the Contemptor. They are now locked in combat for the turn. Over here, we got a little Oregon Trail boogie woogie over here with the Rhinos. Boogie woogie. As I go up the field. The Immacules is sitting right here, waiting. The Scouts are still sitting by. Predators fired and shot and killed the Contemptor that was here. The Basilisk did massive damage over here and actually killed Typhus and about 8 or 9 of his squad mates. The Spartan with the Gorgon Terminators rolled up the field and is now here. The Contender Pattern sat pretty, did a whole point to the Vindicator. And the Melta squad over here took 2 Tactical Marines down, and it's Combo Bolter actually took the Tactical Marines down. They're sitting pretty inside the line. And that is a recap from the Loyalist side.
Alright, yeah, and so just to point out a couple things, as Sean mentioned, a lot of these Death Guard bodies are wiped out, so you know, it'll be interesting to see if these squads can be fully wiped, which will be a victory point on the attrition mission objective, as well as this charge over here. So we did have our first charge of the game between 2 units, and the Emperor's Children struck first. All the Ultramarines made their armor save, and they're now locked in combat. Have we tested leadership?
Yes, I passed with what I needed.
We passed with what we needed. So continuing on to game turn 3, we're dug in here, people. Let's see if we can make anything happen on the Death Guard Emperor's Children side. Okay, so to recap, game turn 3. Essentially what we had was a lot of assaults and another turn of just blistering fire from the basilisks over there. So on the Death Guard Emperor Children side of the board, where Iron Hands had outflanked from reserve, the Emperor's Children made somewhat of a tactical move, sacrificed some shooting in order to block in the Rhino and Land Raider for the Iron Hands. So, in effect, on the Iron Hands turn, they were unable to move and disembark. Moving on to combats, the Death Guard Assault Squad was beaten in combat by Ultramarines coming in and assisting the Iron Hands. And so they actually made it on their initiative to get away, so they're going to run and hopefully rally next turn for the Death Guard. Another absolutely destructive round of fire from the Basilisks saw an entire tactical squad that you see right there wiped. In addition, the Iron Hands troops, which had disembarked from their destroyed, exploded Rhino, got out and continued their close combat against the TAC squad on this side. And what are these Terminators called?
Command Squad and a Praetor.
Okay, so the Iron Hands Command Squad with their Praetor got out and wiped a heavy support squad. So what remains of 101 Death Guard bodies is about 20 some odd Death Guard and a few of them being Terminators. And what remains of a besieged Ultramarines force, which was tasked with holding the line until the Iron Hands came in to support them, is a few Predators, some Basilisks. What's this squad called?
Some Invictars.
Some Invictaris, and several TAC squads. So the important point here is that these TAC squads are scoring, and we're getting to the point where neither army is going to table the other. So what we're looking at is we've got a scoring squad of Iron Hands scoring now, currently in our deployment zone. We have a command squad scoring in our deployment zone. And then we've got a denial Land Raider as well as the denial Rhino. We have 3 scoring TAC squads, which will attempt to charge or in some way make their way forward in the next 2 to 3 game turns. And then we've got a Death Shroud scoring squad in this Land Raider. A scoring TAC squad, which probably will not make it into their deployment zone. A scoring assault squad now on the front. So, in effect, it's going to be really difficult for Death Guard and Emperor's Children to win this game on tactical objectives, moving on to game turn 4. Folks, so when we last did the recap for game turn 3, what we were looking at was a struggle, okay? Death Guard and Emperor's Children
lot of trouble.
had just had a lot of casualties. Okay, the basilisks had taken out a lot of AP3 power armor. We were running out of scoring units running across the board. As you can see, everything on the board is basically dead. What we're gonna find out right now is, does the game go on? Sean, would you be kind enough to
4+.
roll a 4 up?
It does go on for one more turn.
The game goes on to game turn 6. Alright folks, let's have a recap after game turn 6. So basically, if you remember the mission objectives, we had to get scoring and denial units into our opponent's deployment zones. So what we're looking at here is 1 scoring unit for these Death Shroud, 1 denial unit for the Grave Wardens, denial on those Land Raiders, and Contemptor can't score, and then Tac Squad scores, and a Rhino denies. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points. On the Ultramarines and Iron Hand side of the board, we have scoring unit in this command squad. We have denial unit in this Land Raider. We have denial unit in this. Nope. Okay, so comes out with a come from behind victory for Death Guard and Emperor's Children. I removed all the tanks that are dead to this side of the board, so you can see the casualties were significant and a very, very bloody battle today fought between loyalists and traitors. We all knew that the Emperor was a false prophet, but now we have definitive evidence. I mean, you can't strike a much greater blow for freedom of humanity from tyranny. And
For the War Master!